Welcome to the Absa Bank Regional Championship. We bring you the final contest from the Eastern Region, which features St. Peter's Senior High School, Mpraeso Senior High School, and Koforidua Senior High Technical School. Let's meet the contestants. Koforidua Senior High Technical School is represented by
Akonojo, final year.
And
Asare Richmond, final year.
And Mpraeso Senior High School is represented by
Ofori Yabua.
And
Japan Stephen Frimpong.
St. Peter's Senior High School is represented by
Sian Kelvin.
Bagonia, where are the bank Augustus?
Will St. Peter's defend their title? Or will there be a new winner this time? Okay. The Absa Bank Regional Championship is proudly sponsored by Absa Bank with support from Joy News. This is a Primetime production. I am Dr. Anita Opon, your quiz mistress. As we know, this contest comes to us in 4 rounds. I'll begin with round 1. And in round 1, questions will be posed to each schools and contestants. You have 10 seconds or 30 seconds if the question involves calculation to give me an answer. If the answer is correct, your school gets 3 points. If it's incorrect, I may pass the question on, and the first out of the 2 schools to press the bell will have the opportunity to answer for 1 point if that answer is correct, or a deduction of 1 point if that answer is incorrect. I'll be starting from Koforidua Senior High Technical School this time, but it's a preamble to all schools. Distinguish between intracellular and extracellular enzymes with respect to the following. Koforidua Senior High Technical School. Proportions in cells. Yes, give me your answer.
Okay, so intracellular enzymes are more prominent in the cell, whilst extracellular enzymes are less prominent or are not actually found much outside the cell.
2 out of 3. Intracellular enzymes account for majority of enzymes, whilst the minority are extracellular enzymes. You added outside the cell. Mpraeso Senior High. Mechanism of action.
Okay. So, intracellular enzymes catalyzes biochemical reactions in the cell, whereas extracellular enzymes act on substrate outside the cell and then absorb the useful component into the cell.
That is not correct. For a bonus, whilst intracellular enzymes break down large polymers into smaller chains of monomers, extracellular enzymes act on the end of the polymer to break its monomers one at a time. St. Peter's Senior High, where their activity occurs. Okay, St. Peter's.
So for intracellular enzymes, they act inside or within cells, and for extracellular enzymes, they act outside the cell, normally around the cell.
That is correct. A preamble to all schools. Evaluate the limits. Koforidua Senior High Technical School. Limit as x approaches 8 of the expression. I'll give the numerator and the denominator. So numerator, root of x plus 1. The denominator is x minus 4. Into the microphone.
3/4.
That is correct. And Mpraeso, limit as x approaches 3. The numerator is 2x minus 2. The denominator is the root of the expression 4x plus 4.
We have 1.
That is correct. St. Peter Senior High. Limit as x approaches 2 of the numerator x squared minus 5x plus 6, and the denominator is x minus 2. Give your answer.
-1.
That is correct. Koforidua Senior High Technical School. Why do some endothermic reactions take place, although they are thermodynamically unfavorable?
Okay, this is because the enthalpy of formation of the product of a system is sometimes greater than the enthalpy of formation of the reactants. So the total enthalpy of the system tends to be endothermic. That means, and also they absorb heat from the environment to become stable.
Is that your final answer?
No.
Yeah, adding more. That is even incorrect. For a bonus, this is because they have very low activation energies. Mpraeso Senior High states in words the rate law.
So the rate law states that the rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of the reactant raised to their experimentally determined orders, which are determined experimentally at constant temperature.
2 out of 3. I told you to state it as it is. The rate of a reaction is proportional to the concentration of the reactant raised to a power according to an experimentally determined order of the reaction. It's independent of temperature. St. Peter Senior High. Define the term activation energy.
Activation energy is defined as the minimum amount of energy that is needed in order to kickstart a chemical reaction.
1 out of 3. It is the minimum amount of energy that colliding molecules or atoms need to have or generate before a reaction can take place. 1 for mentioning minimum amount of energy. A preamble to all schools. Find the magnitude of the resultant of forces F1 and F2 when the angle between them is theta. Koforidua Sectec. F1 is 8 newtons, F2 is 12 newtons, cos theta is negative 127 over 192.
Okay.
Give your answer, yes.
So we have the resultant force to be equal to 14 newtons.
That is not correct. St. Peter's for a bonus.
9 newtons.
That is correct. Mpraeso Senior High. F1 equals 15 newtons, F2 equals 14 newtons, cos theta equals 31 over 84.
We have the resultant force to be, we have it to be 21 newtons.
That is not correct. For a bonus, the answer is 24 newtons. St. Peter's Senior High. F1 equals 15 newtons, F2 equals 14 newtons, cos theta equals negative 15 over 28.
26 newtons.
That is not correct. Yes, Mpraeso.
14 newtons.
That is correct. Koforidua Sectec. What is the meaning of translation in genetics?
So translation in genetics refers to the process of synthesizing proteins in the ribosome so that it can be passed on from generation to generation by the tRNA in the ribosome of a cell.
2 out of 3. Translation is the process of protein synthesis where the information on the RNA is expressed in the form of polypeptide chains. Mpraeso Senior High, what are the raw materials of translation? Yes?
We have amino acid.
2 out of 3. The 20 amino acids. St. Peter's Senior High, where does translation occur in cells?
They occur on the ribosomes in the cytoplasm of the cell.
Is that your final answer?
Where they occur together by the help of the tRNA.
2 out of 3. So translation occurs in the cytoplasm of prokaryotes in the ribosome and endoplasmic reticulum in the eukaryotes. A preamble. Find functions f of x and g of x such that h of x equals f of g of x given. Koforidua Sectec. H of x equals the square root of the expression x squared plus 1.
F of x is equal to root of x, and g of x is equal to x minus 2.
That is not correct. Yes, St. Peter's for a bonus.
X is equal to square root of x, and g of x equals x squared plus 1.
That is correct. Mpraeso Senior High, h of x equals, bracket open, x squared minus 3x, bracket closed, raised to the power 4.
We
Yes.
have g of x to be equal to s squared minus 3s, and f of x to be equal to x to the power 4.
That is correct. St. Peter's Senior High, h of x equals 1 over x squared plus 1.
F of x is equal to 1 on x, and g of x equals x squared plus 1.
That is correct. And that ends round 1.
Chat to us anytime, anywhere. Access our virtual assistant, the APSA bot, 24/7. That's Africanacity. That's APSA.
At the end of round 1, the scores are Koforidua Senior High Technical School with 13 points, and Mpraeso Senior High School with 17 points, St. Peter's Senior High School with 17 points. We move to round 2. In this round, questions will be posed to all schools, and the first school to press the bell will have the opportunity to answer. If the answer given is correct, the school gets 3 points. If the answer is incorrect, the second school that pressed the bell will have the opportunity to answer for 2 points if it's correct. If it's also incorrect, the third school that pressed the bell will have the opportunity to answer for 1 point if it's correct. All incorrect answers attract a deduction of 1 point. This is speed race. You press the bell, your answer should be ready. If you delay, I'll move to the next school. And do not read the question back to me. Just give me your answer. I begin. Find the equation of a straight line with x-intercept of -5 and y-intercept of 3. Yes, St. Peter's.
I have it to be 3s minus 5y is equal to negative 15.
That is correct. Find the general term of the sequence 19, 14, 9. Yes, St. Peter's.
So
Give your answer.
UN is equal to 24 minus 5n.
That is correct. Find the set of values of x for which the function f of x equals x cubed plus x squared minus 5x minus 6 is decreasing. Yes, St. Peter's.
A set of value of x such that x is less than minus 5 over 3.
That is incorrect. Yes, Mpraeso.
We have the set negative 5 over 3 less than x less than 1 over 3.
That is incorrect. X is such that x is greater than or greater than negative 5 over 3, but less than 1. Mention 2 of the 3 environmental factors that autotrophs need from the... Yes,
We have sunlight and carbon dioxide.
that is correct. Which organic molecule is the main energy source? Yes, Koforidua Sectec.
Glucose.
That is not correct. St. Peter's.
ATP.
That is correct. How many carbons are present in the hydrocarbon 1,4-dimethyl icosane? Yes, St. Peter's.
22.
That is correct. When acidified solution of MnO4 minus oxidizes Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus, the two reagents react in the ratio 1:5. Calculate the concentration of Fe2 plus solution if 25.0 cm cube of it requires 20.0 cm cube of 0.0500. Yes, Mpraeso.
There was going to be 0.0800 mole per decimeter cube.
That is not correct. Who pressed next? St. Peter's.
0.200 mole per dm cube.
That is correct. Okay. How many of the elements in the first 18 elements of the periodic table have the letter A? Yes, Mpraeso.
It is 2.
Who pressed next? Koforidua.
3.
I move on. How many of the elements in the first 18 elements of the periodic table have the element A as part or as their symbol? Name them. Yes, St. Peter's.
So we have 4, and they are sodium, aluminium, argon, and calcium.
That is incorrect. I said the first 18 elements. Calcium is number 20. Find the reactance of a series RC circuits with R equals 50 ohms and C equals 20 micro. Yes, Koforidua.
100 ohms.
That is not correct. Find the reactance of a series RC circuit with R equals 50 ohms and C equals 20 microfarad at an angular frequency of 25 rads per second. Yes, St. Peter's.
130 ohms.
That is not correct. It's 2 kilo ohms. A 2.0 kilogram object is hoisted up from the ground at a constant speed of 5.0. Yes, Mpraeso.
We have it to be 1.25 newtons.
That is not correct. A 2.0 kilogram object is hoisted up from the ground at a constant speed of 5.0 meters per second. Find the total energy of the object relative to the ground when it is 2.0. Yes, St. Peter's.
65 joules.
That is correct. The last question for the round. The elongation of a spring of spring constant 16 Newton per meter is 0.005 meters. Yes, Mpraeso.
We have 80 millinewton.
That is not correct. The elongation of a spring of spring constant 16 Newton per meter is 0.005 meters. Find the energy stored. Yes, St. Peter's.
4.0 times 10 to the power negative 2 joules.
That is not correct. Yes, Koforidua Sectec.
200 microjoules.
200 microjoules. That is correct. And that ends round 2.
Unlock banking with biometrics. Now you can access the ABSA mobile banking app using your fingerprint or facial recognition. Download today. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Okay. At the end of round 2, Koforidua Senior High Technical School with 13 points. Mpraeso Senior High School with 15 points. St. Peter's Senior High School with 27 points. So, before round 3, there will be some substitutions. For Mpraeso Senior High, we have Koforidua going out for Richmond? Jamfi to come in. Then for St. Peter's, we have Kelvin out for Benjamin to come in. Okay, round 3. In this round, statements will be posed to each school, and contestants have to tell me whether that statement I made is true or false. If you give a correct answer, your school gets 2 points. If that answer is incorrect, a deduction of 1 point. But you may choose not to answer, for which that statement will be passed on, and the first school to press the bell will have the opportunity to answer for 2 points if that answer is correct, but a deduction of 1 point if that answer is incorrect. This time I start from St. Peter's Senior High School. But it's a preamble to all schools. Indicates whether the following statements are true or false with respect to the functions of the mammalian skeleton. St. Peter's Senior High, removal of waste from the body. Yes?
False.
That is correct. Mpraeso Senior High provides a site for the formation of red blood cells.
True.
That is correct. Koforidua Sectec, production of hormones.
False.
That is correct. St. Peter's Senior High, if root 2 equals -2, then -2 all squared equals -4. Go on.
True.
That is correct. Mpraeso Senior High, if the cube root of -27 equals 3, then 3 cubed equals -27.
True.
That is correct. Koforidua Senior High School, Senior High Technical School. If root 25 equals 5, then 5 squared equals -25.
True.
That is not correct. St. Peter's Senior High. NH3 has a trigonal pyramidal shape. Yes.
True.
That is correct. Mpraeso Senior High School. BCL3 and NCL3 has the same shape. Yes.
False.
That is correct. Koforidua Sectec. Whilst the boron in BCl3 has sp2 hybridized orbital, the nitrogen in NH3 has sp3 hybridized orbitals.
True.
That is correct. St. Peter's. St. Peter's. In vacuum, a radio wave and an X-ray are distinguished by speed. Yes.
False.
That is correct. Mpraeso Senior High. In vacuum, a radio wave and an X-ray have comparable wavelength.
False.
That is correct. Koforidua Sectec. In vacuum, a radio wave has a much greater wavelength than an X-ray.
False.
That is not correct. St. Peter's Senior High. The power dissipated by an ideal resistor is proportional to the square of the current flowing through it. Yes?
True.
That is correct. Mpraeso Senior High. The power dissipated by an ideal capacitor is proportional to the square of the current flowing through it.
False.
That is correct. Koforidua Sectec. The power dissipated by an ideal capacitor is proportional to the square of the voltage across it.
False.
That is correct. St. Peter's Senior High. A thick waxy coating on the surface of the leaves of some water plants is a type of carbohydrate. Yes.
False.
That is correct. Mpraeso Senior High. The thick waxy coating on the surfaces of the leaves of some water plants is a type of nucleic acid. Yes.
False.
That is correct. Koforidua Sectec. The thick waxy coating on the surface of the leaves of some water plants is a type of protein.
True.
That is not correct. And that ends round 3.
COVID-19 has changed the world, but despite the challenges, the spirit of Africanacity is still alive. It's in the tenacity of the men and women keeping us going. It's in the creativity you use to work, teach, and do it all. And it's in the ingenuity of all those who are making a difference. Thank you to everyone still getting things done. Your Africanacity inspires us.
At the end of round 3, Koforidua Senior High Technical School with 17 points. Mpraeso Senior High School with 28 points. And St. Peter's Senior High School with 43 points. Okay. We move to round 4, which is the riddles round. In this round, I'll be reading a set of clues and contestants will help me by telling me what I am referring to. You can draw my attention by ringing your bell, okay? When you ring your bell, your answer should be ready. If the answer given is correct whilst I'm on the first clue, the school gets 5 points. If I'm on the second clue, the school gets 4 points. Any other number of clues, the school gets 3 points. Okay, so the trophy has been placed there for motivation. It's still anybody's game. Oh, there's still room. Okay, so as I was saying, by the number of fingers raised tells the number of clues I have read, okay? I start with the first riddle. The origin of my name corresponds to a Latin word which means the one who draws, drains, or drinks. In botany and mycology, I am a root-like structure that grows into or around another structure to absorb water or nutrients. Yes, Mpraeso. Hey, sorry. Yes, Koforidua Sectec.
Hostoria.
And that is correct. So, I was on the second clue. They get 4 points. I am a branch of mathematics. My building blocks are termed as the elements. I may be classified as Euclidean or Cartesian. Yes, St. Peter's.
Geometry.
That is correct. So I was on the third clue, so they get 3 points. The third riddle for the round. I was discovered in 1808. My name is derived from a Greek word that means heavy. Yes, Mpraeso.
Barium.
That is correct. So, I was on the second clue, they get 4 points. The last riddle for the round. I am a physical quantity. I am one of the base quantity in the SI system. I am closely related to energy. Yes, Koforidua Sectec.
Mass.
I move on by saying he is right. It's correct. And that ends round 4. I was on the third clue, so they get 3 points.
Chat to us anytime, anywhere. Access our virtual assistant, the ABSA bot, 24/7. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
So, at the end of the contest, in third position, we have Koforidua Senior High Technical School with 24 points. In second place, Mpraeso Senior High School with 32 points. And our defending champions, St. Peter's. St. Peter's Senior High School. St. Peter's Senior High School winning with 46 points. Thank you very much for joining us and making this contest an exciting one. The ABSA Bank Regional Championship is proudly sponsored by ABSA Bank with support from Joy News. This is a Primetime production. Thank you.